The Qatar Grand Prix was a really interesting race. During the sprint, Verstappen gained his third consecutive World Championship victory, while Perez had a really difficult weekend in contrast. McLaren's Oscar Piastri took home his first win, albeit a sprint win. He now goes home with plenty of confidence under his helmet. But one big subject has plagued headlines more than anything this weekend, and that was the driving conditions in Qatar, more specifically the heat. It was so hot during the race on the Sunday that a number of drivers passed out afterwards and had to be treated for dehydration. Logan Sargeant didn't even finish the race. He'd had symptoms of flu all week and then come the Sunday couldn't finish, returning to the pits before he passed out in the car. Lance Stroll, a name who's been in the headlines already on the Friday and Saturday, not only because of his lack of pace compared to teammate Alonso, but also because of his angry outburst with his PT, well, he admitted to actually passing out during the race itself. Now, this is really dangerous stuff. At 340 odd kilometers per hour, passing out at the wheel could result in, dare I say it, death. Esteban Ocon, he was sick into his helmet on lap 15. Russell told the press that he was on the edge of fainting. Albon needed help out of the car after the race. Alonso asked to be soaked in water because his car was getting too hot. Verstappen, the guy who literally pushes through everything, said it was way too hot to drive. And Stroll literally pulled himself out of his car and put himself in a nearby ambulance. The videos from after the race are shocking. This is a serious matter, but is this something the drivers should put themselves through? These guys are the best drivers in the world, some of the fittest people ever. Should they push through conditions like this because, well, that's their job? No, I don't believe they should. The fight should be with their cars, other drivers and teams, not with the conditions of the weather. But as Will Buxton attested to on Twitter, none of the drivers, except for Sargeant, actually said no to racing. So this makes it a very difficult call. Should the decision be in the driver's hands? Let's not forget the obvious. If they pull out, they lose points, especially if other drivers are fine with it. Maybe they feel like they need to drive for their team, Perez for example, regardless of the consequences. Look at the porpoising, for example. Drivers pushed through that regardless of their health. Their brain wobbling about like jelly in their skulls. But these guys are literally wired to push through everything that comes their way. That's how they've become so good. So maybe the responsibility should sit in the hands of medical personnel. Only issue there is fans might think they're being soft. 2, there's really no way of policing it, and you can't cancel a race because it gets a bit hot. The answer therefore comes down to the calendar. The next Qatar Grand Prix next season will be at the end of November, so much cooler. Hopefully this means something so dangerous won't happen again. Hopefully the FIA take note. Let me know down in the comments what you think the answer is. Do you think there should be a maximum temperature, for example, before a race has cooled off? Do you think medical personnel should have the last call? Let me know down in the comments. It's a really difficult question to answer because there's going to be so many conflicting arguments. The drivers are elite athletes, so should they be able to push through? Is this just something that they should train for? A lot of the drivers already train in conditions like this to ready themselves for heat. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments, and while you're there, please like this video and subscribe to SIF1.